A very good day, everyone. My name is Mohammed Farhan, and I will be sharing our group's finding, particularly for data analysis, chapter 4. To start, let's take a look at who participated in this study. We have analyzed data from 30 TESOL undergraduates at Unitar International University, and what's really striking is how experienced this group is. Most are finalist students with very high academic standing. They are disciplined and well equipped, with over half reporting excellent internet connectivity. However, we noticed an interesting detail. More than half of the respondents were essentially self-taught, having received no prior formal training on the very platforms they are using for their degree, which include Microsoft Teams, course networking, etc. So this suggests that while they are technically capable, they had to navigate the how-to of virtual learning largely on their own. Moving on to the first independent variable, quality of the learning platform. When we ask undergraduates about the platform itself, again, this include Microsoft Teams, course networking, etc. The feedback was mostly positive regarding the basics. They find it easy to get their course material from these platforms and to submit their assignments on time, which shows that the core infrastructure is solid. But it wasn't all seamless. We found out that these platforms feel a bit static, which means students signal a real need for better interactive features as seen to be utilized during breakout rooms and more responsive technical support whenever things go wrong. Essentially, the digital classroom is available and open, but the interactive tools within it aren't yet fully utilized. Now let's focus on the second independent variable, virtual community interaction. This is where the human element comes in, and we found out that a strong sense of vertical connectivity, meaning students feel very comfortable reaching out to their lecturers. The digital divide hadn't hurt that teacher-student bond. However, we discovered a social void between undergraduates. So group work is often seen as just another task to be checked off rather than a chance to connect with each other. While the intellectual side of the community is healthy, the social fabric, etc., these organic connections that we typically get from on campus is missing in the virtual space. Last but not least, technology utilization. What we are seeing in terms of technology use is something that we call utilitarian compliance, which refer to the state of using technology effectively because we must rather than because we want to. This is seen from the data that we have gathered. Our respondents are incredibly disciplined. They focus well and get their work in. They submit their work on time. But surprisingly, that doesn't mean they are enjoying the process. About 20 to 25% of the undergraduates feel that while technology helps them complete their degree, it doesn't necessarily make the learning more fun or inspiring. They are essentially what we call operating the machinery of education perfectly, but the emotional spark isn't always there. So what we can conclude from chapter 4 is our findings are very robust. We found a very strong positive correlation between quality of the platform and how much a student actually engages with their studies. In fact, for every step up in platform quality, we see a significant jump in engagement. To wrap up, the data tells us that while Unitar has successfully kept classes running, the next challenge is moving from access to experience. We have trained students to be digital operators, but our goal now should be to foster digital citizens who feel connected and inspired in these virtual spaces. That is all from me. Thank you.
Evening, madam. My name is Miss Bhavika Mashat. So for this part, I'm going to present a chapter 5 of introduction. For this part, I will be presenting the overall summary of our group study, which titled The Impact of the Virtual Learning on the Academic Engagement of TESOL Undergraduates at UNITA International University. So the main objective of this study was to examine on how virtual learning environments influence students' academic engagement. And specifically, the study focused on three independent variables, which are the quality of the learning platform, virtual community interaction, and technology utilization. Academic engagement was examined as the dependent variable. So based on the finding that we discussed in chapter 4, the results show that certain aspects of the virtual learning experience have a strong and significant relationship with student academic involvement. Therefore, this final chapter brings together the key findings, discuss the contribution of the study, highlight its limitation, and provide recommendation for future research and practice. So for this part of discussion and conclusion of study, overall the study concludes that the virtual learning environment plays a significant role in predicting the academic engagement of TESOL and undergraduates at UNITA International University. Among the variables examined, two components were found to be significant predictors, which are the quality of the learning platform and virtual community interaction. Academic engagement in this study was measured through three dimensions, which is behavioral, emotional, and cognitive engagement. These dimensions are consistent with the student engagement model proposed by Fredericks, Blumenfeld, and Paris. The findings suggest that when virtual learning platforms are well designed and encourage meaningful interactions, students are more likely to be actively engaged in their learning.
Influence of quality of learning platform. This slide highlights the influence of learning platform quality on student engagement. These findings indicate that platform quality plays a crucial role in sustaining academic engagement. Among the strengths, students reported easy access to learning materials and well-structured, organized content which supported their learning process. However, several weaknesses were identified, including limited support for interactive and advanced pedagogical activities, as well as delays in technical support responsiveness. In line with the technology acceptance model, these findings show that perceived ease of use enhances user acceptance. As platform quality improves, student engagement also increases. Influence of virtual community interaction. The findings support social constructivist theory, which emphasizes that learning occurs through social interaction even in virtual environment. In terms of strength, students reported that communication with lecturers was easy and effective. Digital platforms helped streamline academic consultations, making it more convenient for students to ask questions and seek clarification. However, there are weaknesses too. Peer-to-peer engagement was relatively weak, and group work was often perceived as a task to complete rather than an opportunity for meaningful collaboration. Overall, the findings show that virtual platforms are effective for communication between students and lecturers. However, they are less successful in creating strong peer relationships and social bonding compared to a physical campus. Summary of technology utilization perspective. This slide summarizes students' perspective on technology utilization. Overall, students demonstrated strong functional use of technology shown through timely assignment submission and sustained focus during online lectures. However, emotional engagement with technology remained limited. For many students, technology was not consistently enjoyable or motivating. Around 20 to 25% of students used technology mainly as a tool for course completion and show low intrinsic motivation towards learning. This indicates that while students function effectively as digital operators, the institution still faces challenges in developing digital citizens who are intrinsically motivated and emotionally engaged in the digital learning environment.
Okay, so for academic contribution, for this overview, in terms of academic contribution, this study helps to address important gaps in existing research on virtual education. And while many previous studies discuss online learning in general, this study offers more focused insights into academic engagement within a specific academic context. By concentrating on TESOL undergraduates at UNITA International University, the study provides findings that are both context-specific and relevant to similar educational settings. So as a result, this research strengthened the the understanding of how virtual learning environment affects student engagement in higher education. Okay, we'll move to filing contextual gaps. One of the main contribution of this study is filling contextual gaps in the literature. Previous research mainly focused on the overall effectiveness of online learning, often emphasizing technological or instructional aspect. In contrast, this study provides a more detailed analysis of academic engagement by examining its behavioral, emotional, and cognitive dimension. Additionally, the focus on TESOL undergraduate within a Malaysian university context offers a more understanding of student engagement in virtual learning environment. This makes the finding particularly relevant for institutions that offering a similar programs. Okay, now I'll present about the empirical evidence. So another important contribution of this study is its strong empirical support. This research instrument demonstrate high reliability with a Cronbach alpha value of 0.937 for academic engagement. Both correlation and regression analyses were conducted to examine the relationship between the variables. The findings clearly shows that the quality of the learning platform and virtual community interaction are significant predictors of academic engagement. This provides a strong empirical evidence to support the role of specific virtual learning components in influencing student engagement. Okay, we'll move to the social void in virtual communities. Okay, in this part, this study highlights the concept of a social void within the virtual learning communities. Although interaction is essential in online learning, the findings indicate that meaningful peer interaction may still be lacking in virtual environments. By identifying this issue, the study adds valuable insight into the social and collaborative dynamics of virtual learning. These findings contribute to the refinement of existing theoretical models and emphasize the need of strengthened social interaction in online learning platform. Overall, this contribution is important for improving student engagement in future virtual learning design. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nandini and I'll be presenting limitation of the study. This study has several limitations. First, the sample size was small and limited to 30 TESOL students from UNITA, which restricts the generalizability of the findings. Second, the cross-sectional design only captured data at one point in time, making it difficult to establish causal relationships or observe changes in engagement over time. Third, the study relied on self-reported questionnaire data, which may be influenced by response bias. Finally, the regression model explained only 31.5% of academic engagement, suggesting that other factors not examined in this study also play a significant role. Moving on to the next slide. In terms of practical implications, there are three key stakeholders. For educators, lecturers should design courses that increase interaction and make better use of platform features such as quizzes, polls, and breakout rooms, while maintaining strong online presence and timely feedback. For institutions like UNITA, investment in reliable technological infrastructure and structured collaborative activities is essential to reduce the social gap in online learning. For e-learning platform developers, platforms should be user-friendly, mobile compatible, and capable of supporting interactive tools, as technical issues were found to hinder students' engagement. Finally, for future research, several recommendations are proposed. Future studies should adopt longitudinal and cooperative designs with larger and more diverse samples. A mixed methods approach is also recommended to gain deeper insight into students' emotional and social engagement. Additionally, future research should explore how technology can enhance emotional motivation rather than just functional use. Finally, factors such as socioeconomic background, internet access, and prior platform training should be examined more closely. Thank you.